What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be reacting to the dark business of Adin Ross. We are live on Twitch, twitch.tv/TrustGux. Come and see it live. It is better live. All right, let's go. 3, 2, 1.
When people talk about controversial streamers, there's almost always one name that comes up first.
Speed.
Adin Ross is interesting because on one hand, he's top 1% successful. But on the other, this is how the internet describes him.
Adin Ross is a goddamn idiot.
Scumbag.
Laughing stock, hypocritical,
Stupid.
racist and misogynistic far-right streamer, Adin Ross.
I feel like Adin Ross has a really strong personality, and with a personality like that, you either love him or you hate him.
To start off the interview, I guess the first question we would have for you is, would you say that online you're hated?
Damn.
Adin has built an empire on being the bad guy. Why?
Controversy self.
And he's right, it pays to be the villain.
I don't give a
But when you wear a mask for profit long enough, you eventually
I don't think that he's necessarily the bad guy. I just think that he has a certain, following.
forget how to take it off. So what's the most true and authentic version of Adin Ross? Well, I've come to realize that the answer to that question is a bit more complicated than you'd think. To understand Adin Ross, we need to go back to before the controversial rise. Back to when he was just starting to figure out something far more simple. How to get people's attention. Adin grew up in Boca Raton, Florida, at least until his parents' divorce scattered his childhood across the country. One year he was the new kid in New York, the next in California, then eventually back to Florida again.
If I get 50,000 followers on Vine,
But constantly restarting life like that forced Adin to adapt
Adin seems like he would have been such a cool, kid.
fast. He had to figure out new social dynamics and find new friend groups over and over again. He learned quickly that the easiest way to fit in was to become a mirror, to read the room, make people laugh, and give them exactly the version of him they wanted to see. When you were bouncing around from school to school, do you think that that helped you, become the perfect streamer? You figured out how to entertain.
I think, yes. I think being socially uncomfortable, being thrown
He learned how to switch it up, code switch.
into the deep end of the
Be
pool.
cool around any type of person.
It makes you. It really, really does.
You see, Adin started off as a kid who was forced to learn how to fit in, and in the process, he accidentally trained himself for the perfect job. When he started streaming NBA 2K from his bedroom, that same survival instinct from school kicked in. He'd read the chat and adjust his personality in real time
I don't even remember Adin's name being Adin Huncho.
to give the viewers exactly what they wanted.
You guys are going crazy with the subs, bro.
And that was the secret weapon that took him from a no
He also started streaming at a time where 2K was probably the most popular game on the internet, too.
name 2K streamer
Now the only people that get views on 2K are the ones that have the most rep. You're not gonna get views on 2K just being entertaining, I don't think.
to the face of Twitch in under a year. Adin saw the ceiling on gaming content and pivoted hard. He quit streaming 2K and rolled out a series called E-Dating that absolutely exploded online. But what made Adin Ross a household name was his streams with rappers. Think of these streams like a late-night talk show. If the host was 20 years old, totally unprepared and openly flirting with the guests.
How big is your dick?
Big enough.
Adin leaned into being sus, pushing boundaries, making things awkward, and treating platinum-selling artists like they were his actual friends. It shattered the barrier between Hollywood and social media. The internet ate it up. Adin gained over 2 million followers in April alone.
We love
It was Bronny.
you, Tekka.
He was averaging viewer counts in the 6 figures, and quite literally
I didn't know Silky has been on like that for that long. He was in an OG Adin Ross stream? That's crazy.
becoming the future of Twitch. For a brief moment, Adin had it all. He was the face of streaming. He was suddenly friends with the influencers that he once adored. But that level of fame is dangerous, because once you have the attention of millions, you become a target for people who want to buy your influence. Deals that pay insane money, but always come with a catch. Think of it like a button. When you're the face of a platform like Twitch, it's as easy as pushing this button
You remember that Playboy Cardi?
and a few million bucks pop out. The problem is the people writing these checks usually
I honestly think Adin Ross should have stayed on Twitch. I think he would be the biggest streamer of all time if he stayed on Twitch.
come from some shady places. It's dirty money. Every time you press that button, you sell a piece of your reputation. You invite the backlash in, and half the world learns to hate you just a little bit more.
The media hates me, bro. The mainstream media hates me, bro.
Most creators keep their distance. They see the money, sure, but they look at the cost and they walk away. And for a while, Adin didn't risk it either, because at that point, Adin was widely known as the edgy, funny guy. When he came onto the scene, he ruffled feathers, but people loved him for it. But that button gets a lot harder to ignore when you grow up with nothing.
People think that I had it very easy my whole life. We were financially stable, medium class, up until about senior year. It got really hard for us. I would go literally some nights without eating dinner.
He realized he could make every single one of those problems disappear forever. All he had to do was push the button.
Let's go, come on. Let's go.
Oh, he took a Roobet deal. That's why he got banned off of Twitch. I forgot about that. Or not a Roobet, or Stake maybe, I can't remember.
Let's go.
The temptation became too irresistible. Aiden took a massive sponsorship deal with Roobet, one of the earliest online crypto casinos, and suddenly he's gambling live on stream for insane amounts of money.
And he got banned for that, right?
Tens of thousands flying into cartoon slot machines while thousands of viewers watch. The reward was absurd. Leaked messages showed that he was making up to $2 million a month. His lifestyle inflated overnight with luxury cars, LA mansions,
Trainwrecks took the deal too.
watches that cost annual salaries.
I bought a Lambo before that, which was stupid, but at that time, I'm 19 years old. I want to buy a Lamborghini to show everyone, like, you.
The money was quite literally life-changing. It gave him the ability to support his parents, help his family, give gifts to friends that don't even sound real.
This is not my car.
Swear my life. This is your house for a year locked. You don't have to worry about rent for a year.
Now, there's a dark side of the button, and we're getting to that. But first, we've got something exciting to tell you guys. So, we started this channel a little over a year ago, and genuinely, it was crazy to see how quickly it picked up steam.
Yo, golf carts!
Golf cart!
W golf cart in the cab.
But now, almost every day, we get DMs asking us how we write our scripts, or where do you find this stuff?
How did you
Maybe notice that your also gets cut innermost to see the but that's enough. You were like you a lot. Well, video. Okay, so you blew up super quick, and then you were like pretty well loved at that point. You were edgy, you were a little sus, but everybody seemed to like you a lot.
Who's that guy in the top right?
Towards the end of 2021, things kind of seemed to shift.
The first thing that we're going to talk about today, easily one of the most requested topics, it involves gambling and a YouTuber, spotlighter, stirs.
I had been hearing for a while about how online, unregulated crypto casinos were hiring some of the biggest influencers in the world to promote them, and then would pay them for every fan they got to sign up.
He's willing to do anything to just make money off the back of his fans and then laugh about it.
You started to get some pushback from certain people, and you weren't as well liked in certain circles.
I don't know. Aiden Ross, everything he has done is stupid.
He knows what he's doing is f***ed up, but
Why do they hate that he's doing that though? I think that they're jealous that he's the one doing it.
on the other hand, he's unwilling to stop doing it.
I've just never seen this life-changing money in front of me in front of a table like that. You know what I mean?
I get it. And you're 20.
What was that first point where you started to notice that, and what did that feel like?
The hate gets to me, I'm not gonna lie, because the hate's different now. It's just like, a lot of people watch me, they don't even like me. It's weird.
I honestly, at that point, was like, as long as my friends and me are having fun, making good content, my community's happy, I didn't really care at that point.
He's got the right mindset, bro. I don't think he was doing anything wrong, to be honest with you guys.
Most creators would panic here. They would apologize, pivot to save content, and try to win the internet back. But for whatever reason, the backlash did the exact opposite for Aiden.
For me, I kind of liked it. I liked kind of being, you know, not liked by the mainstream crowd. You know, I like that a lot, honestly.
Yeah, when you get to a point, he might have been too big, chat. Like, you don't want to be so big to where, like, I don't know. Like, life would be annoying.
Aiden, yeah. Quit now, and I will respect you.
Can't quit now.
Then I think then you're turning your head and making blood money.
This was a defining moment for Aiden, because he realized that being the
He doesn't care about what anybody else thinks. He's based.
Villain paid better than being the hero, so he doubled down. By early 2022, Aiden traded in the Roobet deal for a massive partnership with Stake. Stake is a different beast entirely. It's a platform with pockets deep enough to headline F1 teams and Premier League jerseys. So when the pen hit the paper, the financial scale shifted instantly. Suddenly, Aiden wasn't making life-changing money anymore. He was making you money. This is where the relationship between Aiden and Twitch turned into a dangerous game of cat and mouse. On one side, you have Twitch, owned by Amazon, desperate to keep their platform safe for advertisers like Coke and Disney. On the other side, you have their biggest star, screaming at digital slots and continuing to test every rule in the book.
You have to follow policy and follow rules.
Now, Aiden was definitely the face of it, but he wasn't alone. hordes of streamers were jumping on the crypto casino's payroll. The platform effectively tore itself in.
Togi was a while after. I think Train, XQC, and Aiden all came up together, and that's why they all so rich now.
2. Half the top creators were cashing these massive checks, while the other half were screaming about the ethics of promoting gambling to kids.
How can you
See, it's either you do it or you're complaining about it.
feel good about taking money from people like that?
But here was the problem. Nobody was actually breaking the rules. Twitch couldn't punish Aiden for something that they allowed. So, they made some changes. They banned unregulated gambling sites entirely. Publicly, they framed it as a moral stance, protecting the kids from the addiction. But if you ask Aiden, it wasn't about the morality. It was about the money.
How did that all play out behind the scenes?
So Pokimane, Hassan, they pushed for Stake being banned on Twitch.
Okay.
I was in the gym and I got a text from someone on my team. Just got off the phone with Twitch. They're not banning Stake, bro. No work. They banned it 30 minutes later. So they banned Stake. Why do they ban Stake? They banned Stake because Stake didn't want to cut Twitch in on a check. What does Twitch do? They go to NFL, they do a DraftKings deal worth billions of dollars. So if you go look at Twitch right now, you can gamble on Twitch. They didn't ban gambling. There's a misconception they banned gambling. No. They banned casinos where they can't make money off of.
That makes sense.
They are currently monetizing off gambling right now.
Twitch cut off Aiden's gravy train, so he had to pivot. But he didn't go back to gaming, and he wasn't all that into the rapper streams either. So he reached out to the one guest that nobody else dared to touch.
21 Savage, right? Was that the time that 21 Savage came on?
I see you all over everywhere. You're like the #1 person, right?
Oh, it was Andrew Tate, right?
No, you know, no dick suck. Like, bro, like.
Yeah, I've conquered the internet. The internet is mine, all of it.
I remember that.
But I took it all.
In the span of a single summer, Andrew Tate had gone from total obscurity to being the most viral person on Earth. And Aiden's first stream with him went
So
absolutely
crazy,
ballistic.
bro.
It averaged.
That was the craziest run on social media that anybody's ever seen, bro. He went from nobody to literally the most famous person on the internet.
Over 100,000 viewers and peaked at 266,118. This was the biggest stream that he had ever done, bigger than the E-Dates, bigger than the rapper streams. There was no way Aiden wasn't doing another one.
I've been streaming for a very long time. We're about to peak my most viewers I've ever had.
But there was a massive elephant in the room. Andrew Tate was one of the most, if not the most, controversial person on the planet at the time. And because of that, he was systematically erased from the modern internet. Facebook.
Bro, just think about this, bro. We probably have the most living people that have ever been living in all time right now. Andrew Tate's probably the most controversial person to ever live.
Instagram, TikTok, they all blacklisted him. However, Aiden once again saw a loophole. Tate didn't have a Twitch account, so technically there was nothing to ban. And no one had explicitly written a rule saying you couldn't talk to him on stream, so while the rest of the world was deplatforming Tate, Aiden rolled out the red carpet.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, do you hear me?
For the rest of the year, he milked that loophole for everything it was worth, even flying across the world to stream with Tate IRL.
I'm top G too. No, you're not.
But in January of 2023, the cat finally caught the mouse. Twitch had seen enough and slapped Aiden with his 7th ban from the platform, a massive 30-day suspension from streaming. To the executives, it was a disciplinary timeout, a warning shot to force their unruly star back into line. But for Aiden, sitting in silence for a month, locked out of his empire, it didn't feel like a lesson. It felt like an attack. It radicalized him. He realized that Twitch wasn't just enforcing rules, they were rewriting them. And in doing so, they were trying to take away his button forever.
This is around where he went to kick, if I'm not mistaken.
Aiden was done playing games. He was done with the censorship. And luckily for him, there was something being built behind the scenes. You see, when Twitch banned the major gambling sites, they really pissed off the founders of Aiden's old sponsor, Stake.
Eddie, the CEO of Stake and Kick, he says, all right, you know what? Yeah, let's boss up. Makes a streaming platform.
Eddie Craven, who happens to be the youngest billionaire in Australia, decided to step into the ring with Twitch. He wrote out Kick. Kick positioned itself as the antidote to everything wrong with the streaming industry. It prioritized creators over corporate advertisers. It promised total creative freedom, stripping away the strict guidelines that had suffocated streamers for years. But a platform with no users is useless. They needed someone big enough to drive real traffic to the site.
My original deal before I got banned on Twitch, which I think was like, what, 2 weeks after I came to Kick? It was something like that.
It was
like
close.
A month. I was supposed to go on Twitch. Obviously, funnel from Twitch to Kick. Twitch didn't like that. It was a big no-no. They took me out, and that was it.
After the 30-day suspension cleared, Aiden began dual streaming. He would go live on Twitch, talk to his 7 million followers, and tell them to migrate over to Kick for the real content. But he knew he needed a hook. He needed to show them that Kick was different. So he went on this absurd marketing campaign to test every limit he could imagine.
Recently, there's been this unholy floodgate, like a dam that's broken in the mind of Aiden Ross's brain, that's led to him making the worst decisions imaginable over the last couple months?
What the is going on?
He pulled up Pornhub live on stream. He tweeted things he knew would incinerate his reputation in the mainstream, including the infamous two genders tweet.
It did kind of seem like for a minute you leaned into the villain role. Do you think that's a fair and accurate assumption?
I do. I remember this like it was yesterday. I went over to Kick, I made a tweet, and I said that there are two genders. A lot of people hated me for that. A lot of people are mad for that. And the entire world really went at me for that.
But Aiden wasn't stupid. He knew exactly what he was doing.
I had to kind of say and do some crazy to make Kick pop. I literally might have 2 people in this room this week on stream. Suck my fucking nuts! Ah! Stop it! Twitter, you guys are the reason why the internet is soft. Stop! Bang!
He was proving
People don't give Aiden enough credit, dude. This guy's smart.
the point. On Kick, you can't be canceled.
There's no terms of service over there. You guys can say whatever you want in my chat. Nobody can get banned.
But on Twitch, you definitely can.
This is cancel culture. I'm gonna cancel culture.
I'm Aiden Ross, and Aiden Ross is gonna say what the he says.
In late February 2023, amidst the chaos of his marketing rampage, Twitch had seen enough. They issued his 8th ban. This time, it was permanent.
A lot of the people on the Kick side of things loved it. And they kept, endorsing it a little bit. Like, oh, yeah, you got it. We love it. Controversy sells. And it did. And Kick is very successful because of that, so.
The bridge was burned, but Aiden was standing on the other side, holding the match and laughing. He had successful.
When he got banned, bro, it was like literally, like everybody knew that Aiden got banned.
Migrated his audience. Kick's user base exploded, growing over 400% in months, largely off the back of Aiden's controversy. By mid-2023, Aiden Ross had achieved something that is statistically impossible in the influencer economy. He had been banned, deplatformed, and labeled a public enemy, and yet, he was bigger than ever.
Too far? I don't give a Cancel me, I don't give a
In any other story, this is the part where the creator gets humble. They apologize. They try to rebrand to save their career.
Did you feel like that backlash was, like, deserved?
No, I don't. I think that the things I say and the things I do is what 90-something% of the streamers and the online people say off camera and do off camera.
He realized that on Kick, there were no referees. He had equity, he had a contract, and most importantly, he had an audience that followed him because of the chaos, not in spite of it. He was technically uncancelable. So instead of pivoting to safety, he started treating real life like a...
Yeah, you know how like loyal your audience is after you do all that stuff and they're still watching you.
Side quest. He launched a boxing promotion company cleverly named Brand Risk. He saw the massive numbers in influencer fighting and decided he wanted to own his own league.
Next.
Do these boxing events still make money?
Netflix most valuable promotions, Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson mega event, makes history with over 108 million live global viewers.
This was his crack at trying to build a billion-dollar business that could outlast his streaming career.
I launched a brand. My Brand Risk brand. Yeah.
He revamped the rapper streams at the highest of levels, bringing on names like 21 Savage and Playboy Cardi. He pulled off the biggest stream of his life, an interview with Donald Trump that peaked at over 580,000.
I did not know he did that.
Viewers. He was untouchable. But when you beat the game at 22 years old, you run into a new problem. It's not cancellation, it's boredom.
I couldn't realize it, but when I was grinding, that was like the peak feeling of me. When I was accomplishing all this stuff. I got this and I got that and I did that and I did this, and I just feel like I've kind of already conquered a lot of the things. Like at a really young age.
Yeah, he doesn't need to stream a day in his life again, and his kids, their kids, for tens of generations are all covered because of what he did.
Sure. And what does it feel like to conquer things at a young age?
I don't know. I honestly, man, it's f***ed up because honestly, like, that's what drives me crazy sometimes. Like, what do I do now?
This explains the erratic behavior we saw throughout 2024. This cycle wasn't about him trying to change and failing, it was about him trying to feel something. He would announce that he was retiring, then come back a week later. He would say he's moving back to Miami to find his roots, then fly back to LA. He would swear off gambling, claim that he was done with the toxicity, only to sign a new deal with Stake or Rainbet just months later. To the audience, it looked like a struggle for his soul, but to Aiden, it was just content.
Every time I have trauma, I put it in my back of my brain. I'm very desensitized. My brain is very desensitized.
He had pushed the button so many times that the lights didn't look as bright anymore.
It's super hard for me to sometimes feel things. I don't know. It's almost like I'm emotionless. And like, I feel like I beat the game.
And that's it.
Yeah, in live chat, it's all about the grind. Once you get to where you need to go, it's like in GTA. Like, when you're playing GTA, doing all the heists and stuff, it's super fun. But if you get a hacked account and you can buy everything, it's like, what's the point?
dangerous place to be. Because when the normal thrill wears off, you have to raise the stakes just to feel the pulse.
You said that a lot of people can't hate you online because they don't know the real you. And at the time, you definitely said that you were leaning into the villain role. Have you pulled back from that villain character? And are you... No?
Nah,
so,
I love being the villain.
So what's...
I don't think he's pulled back. I think it's more that, like, he doesn't get as much hate as he used to because he's not as big as he used to be type shit.
What's the most true and authentic version of Adin Ross?
I think the fact that I would do a stream with 6ix9ine if he calls me up tomorrow. I think the fact that I would do a stream with anybody. I would do a stream with Jeffrey Epstein if he was still alive. Just a question. I'll do a stream with Diddy. No, I'm not joking. People that genuinely have been completely
controversy sells, bro.
Stripped from platforms and affected in their real life, they deserve some chance of speaking. They deserve some way of talking. That's where it needs to head. I don't have to like you, but I think everyone deserves their voice, and that's my whole stance on that.
As of today, the machine is still running. Adin Ross proved that you can build an empire on controversy. He proved that if you bring enough eyes and enough money, the rules don't apply to you.
Well, Adin was already big before he started controversy. Once you get that big, then.
But the victory looks a lot like a trap. He's admitted openly that he feels like a puppet, a slave to the entertainment. He feeds the chat the chaos they crave because he's terrified that if he stops, the screen goes black.
It's like people know me when they see me, but they don't know me. People just will look at me as like I'm like this puppet, this entertainment.
It's because a lot of streamers don't know how to separate the real life from streaming, and I think Adin does it well. I think Queso does it well, but there's a weird thing when you stream. It's like people think they know you. People think that they're actually friends with you, and I see exactly what he's saying. Like, you don't actually know Adin Ross. No one actually knows him except for the people that know him in real life.
Puppet. Whatever you guys want, bro. I'll do GTRP. I don't care. I'm a slave to you guys, bro. What do you guys want, bro? I'm a slave. I don't care, bro. I'm a puppet.
Whether you love him or you hate him, it's hard to deny that Adin Ross changed streaming forever. He shattered the corporate safety of Twitch and ushered in a new era of raw, unfiltered, and often dangerous content. He built a button that prints money. But the thing about the button is once you start pressing it, it's almost impossible to stop.
That was a great video, guys. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed YouTube. Thank you for sticking around with me to the end. Love you guys. Peace.